Yeah. So basically, we have two types of web service. The first one is SOAP, and second one is the RESTful web service. Right? In in the SOAP, we have the full form of the SOAP is Simple Object Access Protocol. And if you talk about the REST means representational state transfer. Okay, so if you are using the SOAP, then the medium is the HTTP, and we are using only one method in the SOAP services, that is the POST method. I know right now you are not able to understand. Let's only understand the theoretical, right? We will, in coming slide, we will discuss the, practical also. So you have the clear picture there. Okay. So in the SOAP, the medium, I told you what did you mean by the medium in yesterday classes, right? If I'm trying to hit, if I'm trying to hit make my trip or any site, any application which I'm trying to hit it, right? So you can see our medium is internet, right? Using internet, we are able to, access that particular application, right? And the another medium is HTTP, right? Using, if you are trying to access the web application, then you have to use the HTTP, right? HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol, right? So in the case of SOAP, the medium is HTTP, and in the case of REST, the medium is HTTP, right? In the SOAP request, we are using POST method, and in the REST, we are using the post, get, put, delete, patch. We have multiple methods. If you talk about the REST, right? And the format in the SOAP is XML. We are using the markup language, right? If you are using the SOAP service, if you are using the SOAP service, if you are using REST service, then format is XML, JSON, and the text. So it depends on the requirement. What REST requirement is coming into your project. In most of the times, 90%, even I can say 95% also, right? If you are using the RESTful web services, then the format should be always JSON. The format is JSON. The maximum chances is the JSON, right? And now the question is, which is more used in the market, the REST or SOAP? In the market, which service is used by the company the most, mostly used by the company? Okay, so the mostly used service is the RESTful web service. RESTful web service, 80% company, they are using the RESTful web service in his project. The RESTful web service, right? The remaining one, right, whose project is old one, and they are, already provided the SOAP service to the client, and they are providing the support to the client, right? That particular project is using SOAP web service. Nowadays, like the coming projects are in the RESTful web service, not in the SOAP web service. Yeah, it's also coming in the market. It's also, the requirement is also coming for the SOAP, right? But the demand is less. The most of the company is using the RESTful web service. I will explain you why it is frequently used by the company, frequently used by the client. Okay, when we discuss this thing in detail, then we will, the clear picture, right? You can see the clear picture why I have explaining this thing to you, right? Guys, please give me a second, sir. Let me call to the person who has to. Give me a second. Because some of the person has watching the video. Okay, we were here. Okay, now come to here. You can see both the, if you talk about the work of both the services, right? Both having the same work. Both these services having the same work. Both the services. What is the work? Which I have already explained you. The web service is what the web service is doing. He is making the communication, establishing the communication between the application 1 and application 2, between the device 1 and device 2, right? But there are some other way to do the web service, some other way to do the RESTful web services. But the motto behind the both of the web services, the SOAP and the REST, is same: to establish the connection, right? The way of doing is different, the way of method of doing is different, but the motto behind to connect with the server is the same: to establish the connection, to exchange the data, right? So here you can see this is the client and this is the server, right? We are sending the SOAP request to the server, right? If you are using the REST, then you have to use the REST here. So this is the basic simple diagram, right, to understand bi-directional flow actually, right? The client is sending to the request to the server. The client sending the request. Guys, I'm again requesting you, please mute yourself, otherwise I have to remove you. Okay, please, because it's disturbing the class. Okay, so the client sending the request to the server, and server, what the server is doing, server check that response, and based on that request, they will return the response to the client. Okay, now let's talk about how the communication happen in the SOAP services, SOAP web services. Not in detail, only high level stuff, because to understand the SOAP service in detail, if you have to first know the RESTful web services. If you know the RESTful web services and then you learn the SOAP web services, then it will very easy to learn the SOAP web service. So right now I am giving you only high level detail of the SOAP web service. So after discussing the SOAP, we will switch to the RESTful web service. In the RESTful web service, we will discuss the things in detail, each and everything from the scratch level. Okay. So if you are using the SOAP web service, then they are using the WSDL file, WSDL, UDDI. So WSDL means Web Service Description Language, right? In short form, in the sector, in the IT sector, in the testing field, we are asking WSDL file. WSDL file, right? So you can see this is an XML based interface, and it is called WSDL, the Web Service Description Language. Okay, now let's understand what did you mean by the SOAP web service. Okay, service provider publish an interface. Service provider, who is the service provider? Let's suppose Amazon or any company which is creating his web service, So they will publish an interface. They will publish an interface for his web service that describe all the attribute of the web service. Okay, so let's suppose I'm taking this application, this WSDL file. So what happened in any of the company? Let's suppose you are working in Infosys, right? In the Infosys, you are working in the SOAP project, in the SOAP web service project, right? So when developer implemented the SOAP web service, right? So they will provide you one WSDL file, WSDL file, right? So what you have to do, if you hit this WSDL file in the browser, here you can see I'm trying to hit this WSDL file here. Guys, you can mute. So if you try to hit this WSDL file, so guys, tell me, are you able to understand this XML file, this WSDL file, what it trying to say here? Can you able to understand?
No, I can't.
No, right? So I will explain you how you can read this thing actually when you are working in the SOAP project. Okay, so they have written the, use the tagging to write the request, let's suppose we are working in the banking application, right? So I went to the State Bank of India and asking to the bank employee that I want to open the banking account, right? So he has a different functionality to get the personal detail, to get the income detail, to get the pension detail, to get the mortgage detail, to get the assert detail, right? So these all the requirements the developer has converted into the XML, the WSDL file, in the WSDL file, right? So if anyone working on the WSDL in SOAP project, they will provide you one simple WSDL file and they will ask you that go and use this WSDL file, go and test the functionality by using this WSDL, right? So right now I will not explain you how you can test, only understand what is the SOAP actually, right? When I complete the rest, then I will again switch to the SOAP and again I will explain this thing in detail, then you can easily understand, right? Because the SOAP service is complex as respect to the REST web service. So that's why we will first learn this simple concept, then we will move to the complex. Okay, so when you are working in this SOAP project, SOAP service, the developer will provide you one WSDL file and you have to import that WSDL file into your SOAP UI tool, or which tool is compatible to test the SOAP service. In that particular tool, you will use that WSDL file. Okay, now you can see same concept, the client service user and server, they are sending to the request and getting the response. So you can see what is the medium here, the WSDL file. They will provide you the WSDL file. Now here the medium, the format is the, here you can see the format and the medium, right? So you can see it here, using WSDL file, you are connecting with the server, the client connecting with the server. Okay, in the interview, who are preparing for the interview, they will ask you what did you mean by the WSDL. So WSDL is web service description language, and it is XML based language. Okay, now in the WSDL file, what are the things considered? So you have one question that uh, what what are the things inside the WSDL file, right? So inside the WSDL file, they have written the protocol, they have written the rules, they have written the definition. And what definition, rules and protocol? The protocols, rules and the definition which is, which is required to implement the logic. Let's suppose you are working in the banking application. So to implement that particular service, what are the protocols, what are the rules, what are the requirements, all the things we are writing inside the XML. And one more thing, it is not written by you, not by the tester. So do not worry that how I can write, right? This thing is done by the developer. This is the job of developer. You don't have to do. Your job is to test the WSDL file as per the protocol, rules and the definition. It is working fine or not, it is working fine or not, right? So these protocols, rules and definition is decided by the W3C. W3C, an international community who is deciding the protocols, how you can write the WSDL file, what rules we have to follow, what definition you have to follow. So guys, when you are writing the application, when we are kid, right? So I think we are following some format, right? In the top, we are writing dear sir and subject line and then body and then yours sincerely. So someone has decided their guideline. Agree? You have to follow this guideline, right?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So similarly, to create the WSDL file, to create the SOAP services, right? The Worldwide Well Consortium has, this is an international community who is deciding this protocol, W3C. W3C is deciding the rules and protocols, right? And all the company developer has to follow that protocol. If you can't follow that protocol, you can't successfully create the WSDL file for the SOAP web services. Now the question have, is tester job is doing, create the WSDL file? No. So you don't have to worry. This is the job of developer. The developer has to create the WSDL file. So you don't have to worry. When the WSDL file is get ready, then developer will provide you that WSDL file and they will ask you start doing testing. Okay, now you can see when developer has creating the WSDL file, if you talk about testing perspective, then they have to follow one structure. They have follow one structure. First, they have to write the envelope. Here you can see, if you go to here, you let me open one sample WSDL file in the Google. Sample WSDL file. Sample WSDL file. Let's suppose I am taking one sample WSDL file. Ta, 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 ta. Give me a second. I'm taking to try one take sample WSDL file here. Yeah, here you can see this is one sample WSDL file, right? So they will provide you, you can see WSDL here, W3org, right? So when the developer has completed this thing, then they have to follow some hierarchy, follow some format. First, they have to write the envelope, right? Write the envelope and the header which are required to connect with the server. So header they have to follow, and the body. What did you mean by the body? Inside the body, we are writing the logic. What things you want from the server. So that things will come inside the body. Okay. So here you can see, give me a second. Here you can see this is the, looks like the XML file. You can see soap envelope. In the soap envelope they will pass the developer will pass the information like the server name, where you want to connect, right? And then they will, if there is header, then they will pass the header. If there is not header, then they will not pass the header. I know right now you are not able to understand. I agree. I agree, right? Because this thing I am explaining you high level, but if I go into the deep level also, you can't able to understand, because the SOAP concept is complex. Okay, so that's why right now I am giving you only high level, right? And we'll switch to the REST service. In the REST service, we will discuss everything in the detail, right? And then again I will switch to the SOAP web service, and then again I will explain you the SOAP web service. Then you will easily understand what I'm trying to say you in this class. Okay, so this is the XML file. You can see I have taken one screenshot of that. Here you can see the body, SOAP body. Inside the SOAP body, they are passing the property and name, property and name. Okay. Okay, now we are not going to discuss about the disadvantage of SOAP, but when we complete the REST and SOAP, after that we will compare the advantage and disadvantage of the SOAP. Okay.
One question
Now,
I have.
yeah, go ahead, sir.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, like this web services take response from API or server.
Web service is taking the response first, it connecting with the server. Okay, and it connecting with the server, then server is connecting with the database, wherever it fetching the data, wherever it is storing his data, right? So when we send it to the request, it connecting with the respective server, then server will connect with his different types of the database, right? And it will fetch the data from the database, right? If we are using any third party services, then it first go to the server, the main server, and the main server will decide where I have to send this request. Either it in database, either it is in the third party services, right? So this is decided by the main web server basically, right? Clear, sir?
Yeah, clear. Just want to know like difference between web services and API, if you could.
Yeah, don't worry, I will explain you all the things. First try to understand the basic concept. uh, uh, if you understand what I'm trying to give you the basic understand, at the end you will explain me that the difference, right? You will explain me that what is the difference. So my the way of teaching is totally different. Okay, so first let's try to explain all the things, right? Complete the one topic. After that, whatever the question you have, you can ask to me, right? I believe you have the less query at the end of the topic if I complete the whole package of that particular topic. Okay.
Because so you told now like it will connect to database. So now the request goes from like the request goes to the Server. The server will connect to the web service, right?
No. Web service is the medium. Web service is the medium between client and the server, who is connecting the client and server. When client is sending the request, right, web service is the medium to connect that request to the server, right, and that server is connecting with the if there is any other server, right, they are using, right, so then that main server connect with the child things, right, the child server and the database or third party, right, and they will collect the data from their hierarchy actually. Clear, ma'am?
Because can you
Sorry, I can't hear you, sir. Hello.
How to run this time?
How to run the
This concept in real time.
Yeah, that's I will explain you, sir. Don't hurry. Like I can't give you all the answer right now. First, let's try to complete the things, because if you ask answer, you give your try to give your answer, then you will switch to that particular topic. Then I know you guys have some basic understanding. Then the person who don't have, then they will not understand that thing. So let's try to complete the things what I'm trying to say, the whole topic. After that, if you have any query, then ask to me. I will not decline anything, right? Try to explain the whole basic concept from the scratch level, and then you can ask any question. It's open. Okay, is that fine for everyone, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Vikas.
Now come to the RESTful web service, right? If you understand the RESTful web service, then SOAP service is very easy. SOAP service is very easy. Okay, so try to understand the web service. Okay, in the SOAP web service, we already discussed the high level, right? In the RESTful web service, it is the representational state transfer, and it is the architectural style, where in the architectural style, when the developer designing the REST, they have to follow the architectural style. We have some set of principle to be followed while designing a service for communication or data exchange between the two applications, right? So when developer has implementing the RESTful web service, then they have to follow set of principle, and this is the set of principle. The uniform interface. Inside the uniform interface, we have the different component like resource, URL, HTTP, stateless, cacheable, layer system, and the codon, right? So first we will discuss the uniform interface in detail. What did you mean by the uniform interface, right? I am explaining the things as a development perspective. What principle they are following, what constraints they are following while designing the RESTful web services. So you can see in the uniform interface, we have few of the component, that is resource, URL, HTTP, base URL. So let's try to understand here. So I'm trying to open Make My Trip. I have opened the one web application, that is Make My Trip, right? So right now we know this thing as a URL, right? We don't know the component of this thing, right? So let me explain you. This is the HTTP is known as a protocol. This is the protocol. This help to the web service to connect with the server. Without HTTP, we are not able to connect with the server. Okay, if you talk about the web service, I'm not talking about the other service. We have other service as well, like file transfer service, database service, email transfer service, right? So in that case, we are not using the HTTP protocol. We are using some other protocol. If you talk about the HTTP service, the web service, in that particular service, we are using this protocol, HTTP. Now, the question is, in some of the project, they are using HTTP, and in some of the project, they are using HTTPS. So, what is the difference? So if you are using the HTTPS, that is your application is the secure application. They are following the secure application, right? They're following the security related stuff. So developer has also designed the security related stuff. So that's why you are seeing some in some of the URL you see S, in some of the URL you can't see S. So wherever you see the S, that means that particular service is secure channel. If you are not using S, that channel is not secure. Okay, now after the double slash, up to first slash, after the double slash up to the first slash, it is known as a base URL. So whenever you are working in the real-time project, you can't say to the developer or your client or your BA person that could you provide me the URL? You have to say, could you provide me the base URL? Right? Could you provide me the base URL? Now, protocol plus base URL is known as a host URL, where your server is hosted, right? The Make My Trip is hosted in this particular URL, in the host URL. So the protocol plus base URL is known as a host URL. Okay, and if I click on the any element, the flight or hotels or villas, that is known as a resource. Resource means what user want, what user exactly want. So I want to book the ticket. So guys, tell me, if I want to book the flight ticket, where I have to click? If I want the flight ticket, where I have to click in the Make My Trip application?
Flight icon.
Flight icon. So the flight is resource. If I want to book the hotel, then I have to click on the hotel. So hotel is one resource. If I want to book the villas and apartment, then I have to click on the villas and the apartment. This is one resource. If I want to book the train, then I have to click on the train. So the user, this is the resource. What user want, what user trying to do. Now this is your parent resource, and after clicking on the flight, if I clicking on the search, right, what user is doing here? He is clicking on the search, right? So search is the child resource. The main resource is flight, and inside the flight you are searching the flight, right? So flight is the search is the child resource. When you are trying to book the ticket, then the booking ticket is the resource inside the flight resource. Right. So let's suppose you want to, I'm taking one banking application. Guys, I can assure you, I will not miss any of the single topic. Right. I know I have missed some basic concept. What did you mean by the differentiation between application server, web server? What is APIs? What is difference between web service and the APIs? Yes, I have missed. I know that thing, right? How, after connecting with the web servers, is there any other things to connect with the server, right? Yes, I have missed. First, let's try to understand one bunch of the topic, right? After that, we will discuss this thing. Then it will easy to understand. If I understand, if you explain that thing, what you have all the question, right? So it required more effort for me to explain you that thing. So I always believe, as per my experience, I'm teaching you, right? I have learned all the things by on, right? So I know how the student can teach, how the student can learn the things in very easy way and very simple way, and it will get set in his mind. He can't forget that thing. Okay, so don't worry, I will not miss any single topic. So don't worry, guys. Okay. Yeah, after completing one topic, right? You have any question? If I miss anything, then you can openly ask the question. I'm here for you, right? So it's not the only the class is 1 day, 2 days. The class is 1.5 months will go, right? So we have lot of chance to, if I if I 1 day class, then ask me all the question, then I will not meet you tomorrow. That will not happen here, right? I'm always daily available Monday to Friday, right? So I will explain you all the things. Don't worry, guys. So I have opened the ICICI Bank, right? So that's why I'm always trying to take the multiple example by taking the multiple domain, e-commerce side, the banking side, right? So that we have the clear picture. So in this particular page, anyone can tell me what is the resource here?
Loan,
Accounts.
Loan, accounts, card, invest, insure, pay. Let's suppose I want to take the loan. So what I have to do? I will go here and click on the loan, right? So tell me, when I click on the Instacart loan, so can I say this is your child resource, right?
It's a child resource.
Child resource, right? So if this is the NRI section. So if I click on the NRI, so this is your main resource, right? This is your main resource, and inside that particular resource, we have the sub resource also. What user want, what user trying to do. Okay, so that is your main resource and child resource. Okay, let's come to here. Now I'm trying to book the ticket from Mumbai to Delhi, right? This is my request, which I want to send to the server, right? So this is your client, right? The client is sending the request to the server, and my request is, I want the flight between Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 22. Hey server, could you please provide me the detail? Now you are clicking on the search. Now the make my trip, it's connect with the server. It's go and connect with the host server where the make my trip is hosted, right? And it will check your request. What are the requests the user is passing? So the user what request is passing? So they are passing the Mumbai in the from Mumbai in the to Delhi in the depart 22 July. In the return, 22 July, again in the same date, and passenger 1, right? So based on my request, it connect with the server, and server check the request. Based on the request, it will go to that particular inside the server we have we have set of request, set of resource. Let's suppose ta, 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 ta. So let's suppose this is the client, this is the client, this is the client, and this is the this is your server. Give me a second. Copy and paste. Give me a second. It's taking this thing. Okay, let me open new window. So let me remove this thing and put a rectangle here. So this is your client, this is your client, and this is your server, this is your server. Okay, now what happened when client sending the request to the server? When client sending the request to the server, let's suppose which resource they have used, flight resource. So what happened inside the server, inside the server, I'm removing this thing. Inside the server we have different let's suppose I'm trying to create one more diagram. This is the internal diagram of the server, internal diagram. Okay, so this is the flight, this is the flight, this is the internal diagram of this box, this server. Okay, okay, now here I am passing flight, hotel, and what the things are there, like train, buses, okay, buses, and holiday, something like, and there is one more, let's suppose cab. Okay, so when user sending the request, when user sending the flight request, so the request is sending, the request is for the flight. Okay, flight, right? When client sending the request to the server, right? This is your server, right? So server check the first thing, they will check the the header, URL, and all the thing that will explain you later on. So this is not right now, we have to discuss. So they will check what is the resource they have used, what resource they have used. Okay, so they will check it is the flight resource, either hotel resource, villas. So there is the, this is your database, right? In the database, into your server, we have the separate resource, separate resource, right? So when I is sending the request by using the flight resource, then server will first identify which resource is used, then it will call that particular request to the flight, it will pass the request to the flight, right? And then flight will check the child resource, right? Inside the flight we have child resource, right? Then it will pass that request to the child, right? And then it will again take the data from the child. The child will pass the data to the main resource, and the main resource pass the data to the server. If I'm sending the request to the hotel, right? Let's suppose I'm searching the hotel, right? So the server will check first what request is coming from the client. It is the hotel request. So server will pass that request to the hotel, and hotel will check that request and pass to his child resource, and child resource whatever the internally implementation where where there it is getting the data, it will send that particular request to that group and collect the data, then pass the data to the hotel, and hotel pass the data to the server, and server pass the data using the medium of web service to the client. Right? If I explain this thing in the beginning, you can't understand. Right? So try to understand the things easy, small. Okay. So this is the one flow to connect with the server, and server connecting with their resource. Okay. So you can see, if I take any other application, I think, can you easily identify the resource or not? In the interview, they will ask you, they will provide you one application or anything. They will provide you, and they will ask you that, can you say me what are the resource I have used here? Can you say or not? What are the resources there in the Flipkart? Right.
Groceries, mobile.
Whatever the user action, what user want, that is your resource. If user want grocery, then grocery is one resource. Mobile, then mobile. The fashion, then fashion. So inside the fashion, you can see there are man and woman section are there. So these all are the child resource, right? And the men's are also the child resource. When I click on the women western, so you can see the one another pop-up will display, right? So it will display that particular thing. If you click on the any of the element, then it will display your result, right? Now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to search the flight. Okay, clear. Now I want to book the flight now. Sorry, I want to search the flight. Yeah. So I click on the flight. I selected Mumbai. Delhi, and 23, and search. You can see it's connecting with the server and returning with the response. So can you see here the URL gets changed? Can you see here?
Yes, previously it was
Yeah.
flight.
So you can see the flight resource. Inside the flight resource, we have child resource search. And after that, they are using the key. This key is, we are not deciding this key. This key is decided by the developer, how they are implemented. If you ask me the question, how this itinerary, BOM, and these things are displaying, right? So this name, the naming of itinerary or key or value is, which particular name you have to display. That thing is decided by your developer, the designing of the service. Okay, so this is the key, and the key name is itinerary, and you can see what is your request? Mumbai, and Mumbai code is BOM, right? And then Delhi. What is the code of Delhi? DEL, right? And you can see it here, the department. You can see the department 22/7/2021, right? And this is the returning. Can you see Delhi to Mumbai? Delhi to Mumbai. Can you see it here? Right. So what I am trying to say, after the first question mark, that is known as a query parameter. Query parameter. Right. Here you can see this is your query parameter. After the first class, it is known as a resource. So if I take this, URL, if I take this right, so guys, you can help me. What is the HTTPS here?
Protocol.
Okay, now / up to the this thing.
Base
What did
URL.
you mean by, what is this thing?
Base URL.
URL. Now, what do you mean by the host URL? Tell me.
Protocol plus base URL is called host URL.
Protocol plus base URL is the right. Now, what is the resource?
Flight.
Resource. So what user want after the first class, right? Right. What user want, right? What is your query parameter? Query parameter after the question mark, right? So guys, why I am explaining you the same concept we will use in the Postman. So that's why I'm showing you that thing in the UI. In the UI, when I directly show that, guys, you can mute. If I show directly this thing in the Postman, you are not able to understand that thing. You will get confused. So that's why I have shown you first the UI section, how the things are looks like in the UI. After that, we will do the same thing in your Postman here. You can see it here. I have used protocol and the URL and the base URL. So in tomorrow class, we will discuss further, right? There are a lot of things, guys, lot of things. The application server, web server, URI. I think you have heard that URL and URI, both the things. URL and the URI. So you might have question that what is difference between URL and URI. First, we will understand some basic concept. After that, we will discuss all the interview question and all the things what we have. Okay, so guys, one more thing. If you have 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes only. So guys, who has interested, then please do the payment today. Okay, already you have taken free classes, so I have already shared the detail, and today I will also share the detail in this chat group, so you can do the payment, please. Okay, and after that, one homework you can take it. One homework, go to the Google Chrome and type here Postman download. Postman download, because we can save our time tomorrow. Okay, so type Postman download. I will provide you the link. Let me provide you the link in the chat box. In the chat box, I have provided the link here, right? Go and click on the download the app. If you click on the download app, you will see the bit, which bit you want, 32-bit or 64-bit. So based on your machine, you can install. After installing, please open the Postman, right? And if you face any issue, then we can also discuss. Okay, so this is, you can take it as a homework, because this will take 10 to 15 minutes or 10 minutes at least it will take to download and install, right? So try to do it at your end, and we will discuss that thing tomorrow in tomorrow class. Yeah, guys, that's it for now. Yeah, if you have any query, then let me know. Otherwise,
Vikas,
we can. Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
because many of the time, no, your screen is not showing up. So at that moment, no, I miss some of the things like when you were explaining about the base URL and the resources. So at that
You
moment,
missed
no,
that
your
thing?
screen was not.
Man, you have to have you did not ask me at that time. You are not able to see your
No, I
For
screen.
me
raised
also,
because I
because
did not
it's not
want
showing
to.
the.
I did not
Because
want to
same here.
So I
disturb the class.
is that other guys. Can you also face you face the same issue, or are you able to see my screen?
No,
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 I
Yeah,
it's
was
yeah, I
able
am
not
to
also
see.
clear.
facing.
We are able to
Yeah.
see your screen, Vikash.
We are able to see it.
Okay. So I
We
think
didn't have
you
any issue.
joined the call in between. I think so. Might be there is the reason. So whenever you can't see my screen, you can rejoin the call. So issue will get resolved. If you are facing not see my screen, you can rejoin the call. So ma'am, could I again explain you? Is that fine, or
Yeah,
are you
absolutely.
okay with that?
I would like to go through this recording, and then if I have any problem, I'll get back to you.
Okay, the guys, the class is already over, so I will, ma'am, I will take 10 minutes of your, and I will explain you what I have, the things I have, explain the last thing. Okay,
Okay, okay.
could I?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
so that you all are on the same page. You don't have to watch the recording session. Okay, so guys, the class is already over, so you can quit the call and you can continue your work, right? If you want to be with this class, you cannot continue the class. So ma'am, I told that can you see my screen now?
Yes. Now I'm able to see.
So how this thing get resolved? Are you rejoin the call or what you have did?
Yes, I have just disconnected the call and again I have joined. Meanwhile, I have missed something.
Yeah,
Vikas sir,
you, yeah, go ahead.
once
Excuse
you
me.
disconnected.
Sorry,
Sorry to
come again,
interrupt.
sir.
Hello.
There was a reason, I guess. Even I faced the same thing. But the thing is that whenever someone join, it will be redirecting that screen to the particular person. Then we need to again scroll that and we need to enter the particular Vikas screen. Click on that and
Okay.
we'll be get. So that's the facing,
Oh,
but not from the Vikas, I guess, the issue. Even I face the same issue. But when I
Mhm.
just go to the same Vikas screen and click on that, then it's coming on that. Whenever
Yeah,
someone
I
join,
think,
it's
yeah, right, sir. Your observation is correct. I think the screen gets switched to that particular person when any new is joining the call, actually. Yeah, right. So whenever you face the issue, you can see the icon of my, right? You can click on that icon and you can see my sharing screen then. Okay. So I will pass the same thing in tomorrow class. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, Vikas, can you also start from that point, base URL, host URL?
Okay,
I will
so
use that.
whoever can't see my screen in during the class, so I'm going to again repeat the same thing. So now everyone able to see my screen clear?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that you get the solution if you can't see the screen, right? Whenever you face this issue in future. So you can see I'm trying to open the make my trip, right? So you can see in the URL, till now we know this as a URL, right? So let me specify the component, right? So here you can see this is the protocol, and after the double slash up to the first slash, after the double slash up to the first slash, it is known as a base URL. So whenever you are communicating with your team lead or with your manager, with your client, then if your client is asking that, could you please provide me the base URL, then you can provide this thing, either including with the protocol, it's fine. right? But you can't provide the resource and the query parameter and all the things, right? You have to only provide this thing after the double slash. That is the base URL. In real time, always try to use the technical term, not give me the URL. That is not the way to talk, right? So you can say, give me the base URL, right? Now, the protocol plus base URL is known as a host URL. You can see the protocol plus base URL is the host URL. Because this thing is interview question, right? They will provide you one URL and they will ask you specify this component and what is the host URL here and what is the base URL here, what is the query parameter here, what is the resource here. They will ask you to specify the things. So if you don't know, then you can't specify the things actually. Okay, so now I want to book the hotel, I want to book the flight, I want to book the villa. So what user want? The user want flight, user want to book hotel, your user want to go for holidays, user want to go for holiday package, train, buses, cab. So these all are the resource for this application. For this application, these all are the resource actually. So if I talk about the banking application, now guys tell me what are the resource here. So can I say the personal is one resource, the users, let's suppose you want the loan, right? You want the loan, so you can see the loan is one resource. You want the card is one resource. You want to invest, so invest is one resource. Inside the card, you want to check the Instacart loan or two-wheeler loan, that is your sub resource, the child resource. Clear? Resources, ma'am,
Yes,
clear? Okay, now
yes.
how it looks like. What happened? You can see the client, right, and the server, right? So let's suppose the user is trying to book the flight. They want to search the flight. So the flight resource is sending to the server, right? So what the server will do, he will check what resource the client has sent, right? So it is the flight resource. So internally we have the different resource inside the server, inside the database, right? So we have the separate already defined thing, already a separate database for that. If you are trying to store the flight detail, then it will store inside the flight. If you are trying to store the hotel, then it will comes to the hotel. Then it will you want to want train, then it will comes to the train. So they will not mix up the things. Okay, the developer has designed in such a way that whatever the resource is, the server will connect to that particular resource and get the data from that particular resource. When request come to the server, then server check the resource, and let's suppose it is flight resource, then it will connect with the flight, and inside the flight, if it is any child resource, then it will connect with the child and ask the child, could you please provide the request? Could you please provide the response based on that request? Then child providing the request to the flight, then flight sending that response to the server, and server providing that response to the client. Okay, first client send to the server, server check the resource, then server pass that request to that particular resource, then server check that again request, then send to the child, then child perform the action and again pass to the main resource, then it again send to the server, then server send to the client. Okay, so this is the flow, right? So can you see, if I clicking on the flight, can you see that your host URL is same, only resource get changed. If I clicking on the hotel, you can see the host URL is same, your only resource get changed. If I clicking on the villas and the apartment, can you see it here? The host URL is same, your resource is changing, right? So the resource only changing, it is dynamic, right, based on the users, right? Let's suppose I want to search the flight from Mumbai to Delhi in the date of 22. I click on the search button, right? So can you see the URL get changed? The URL get changed. URL get changed, and you can see the long URL. So you don't have to worry about that. Let's understand. So you can see the flight is one resource. Inside the flight resource, what action user has did? Tell me. The user has searched the flight. So search is your child resource, right? After that, the user has searched the flight by passing the valid data. So data is Mumbai. You can see the code BOM, Delhi, DEL, and date 22 here, and again it is returning search, right? So Delhi to Mumbai in the date of 23, right? And you can see the passenger, all the things, it's by default taking, which is defined by the designer. Okay, so what I am trying to say, after the first question mark, this is known as a query parameter. Query param. What user query is? Let's suppose I'm searching the flight, not round trip. I want one way from Mumbai to Delhi 23 and click on search. Can you see it here? Can you see this is your after the question mark? You can see the BOM Delhi and date is 23. Now you can't see the returning flight date and the from and to here. Can you see here in the URL?
No.
No. So whatever the users have the query, based on that query, it will show you the query parameter. Right now, if interview will ask you that what did you mean by this particular URL? Can you specify? Then HTTP is the protocol. After the double slash, it is known as a base URL. After the first slash, up to question mark, this is known as a resource. After the question mark, this is known as a query parameter. Clear?
Yes.
If I give you some other site, let's suppose I am trying to give you, I will go here in the mobile section. I'm going to the electronic section and I'm going to the let's suppose Bluetooth headphone. I click on the Bluetooth headphone, right? And can you see it here? The HTTP is the protocol, www.up2.com is the base URL, and you can see the audio, video, and headphone and PR. This is the, you don't have to worry where it is coming from. You have to only understand that this is your resource and how this taking audio, video, and headphone, this is not your concern. Yeah, I click on the headphone, that's why it's showing the headphone, right? And this thing is already defined by the the internally stuff, so that's why it's showing here. But the thing is the resource. So after the first slash up to the question mark, this is known as a resource, right? After the question mark, right? So after the question mark, this is the query parameter. Now you have the question, that I have not passed anything. I have not passed anything as a query parameter. I have not passed anything. Why the query parameter is showing here? So let me tell you that when you click on the electronics, when you click on the any element, so it's by default it giving you the search response, right? It's by default giving you the search, the object it's showing by default. It's showing when you clicking on the particular element. Let's suppose I'm clicking on the inverter AC. So this is your query, like you are searching the inverter AC, and this thing you will get in the response. Here you can see the query parameter. This is your query parameter. Okay, so I think you can easily identify the component, right? If I will give you any URL, you can easily identify. Okay, so that's the thing I have taught in this class actually, and we will continue in tomorrow class. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Because thank you so much for repeating. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Vikas.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Like in server side, you said that there are also resources. So by resources, you mean like any application programming done in server side?
Yes, yes. The developer has designed his application, right? They are connecting with the server, then server connecting with the internally, inside the, we are asking only server, but inside the server we have lot of things are there, right? Lot of the sub components are there, the child's components are there, right? But we will not discuss all the things because these all are the development stuff, right? So the things which are related to the testing perspective, which you can easily understand, that thing I will explain you. So inside the server, when we are sending any request, it connect with the server. Then server is, if it is integrated with the third party or any database, then it connect with that particular thing, and then they will check the request and what request we are using. They will find out the resource, and that it connect with that particular resource, right? So like that, the flow is happening internally. So like that, developer has also designed their application actually.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Vikas.
So, yeah, ma'am, go ahead.
Because this is not related with the class. I mean, I just want to confirm, like, do you take the performance class during the weekends, right? You said last time.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 2 o'clock, and half an hour after 2 o'clock is the doubt session.
Because can you confirm me, like, when will the next batch starting? New batch?
Mid of August. Because the batch which I have already taken, so that batch is I have started on the 3rd July, so it will take another 1 month for me to complete actually. So mid of August, I think 3rd week or 2nd week, I will let you know. Or you can, if I forget, then you can drop me the message so that I can consider it.
Yeah, that is a performance testing, right? Because performance on JMeter.
Yeah, performance testing. In the performance testing, we will see different types of these services, like web services and application and FTP, file transfer protocol, email transfer protocol, and database. So all the things we will look into the how we can do the performance testing for that particular services.
Thank you, Vikas.
Okay, we actually I have already taken the 6 classes, that is 12-hour classes already completed actually.
Yeah.
So that's it, guys. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you, and please do the payment. So after this call, I will share the account detail. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vikas.
Yeah, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah, I just downloaded the Postman app. It's asking for like the team name and the team URL. What is that?
Could you please share your screen so that I can help you?
Sure. Start sharing. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this is asking for the team name.
Yeah, this thing when you are working in your company, the company the client will provide your, whatever the project they are using, so they will pass that thing. So I think at the bottom we have one option, continue with. What option is there?
It's
I
continue
can't see.
without
Can
a
you?
team.
Yeah. Click on that. Click on that. Click on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can see you are able to open, and your name Ramita, right?
Yes.
You can see your
Yeah.
name. You go to the workspace. You can go to the at the top.
This one?
And no, sir. Yeah. Click on that. Click on that. Click on that.
Yeah.
Go to the my workspace.
I have to
No,
this
the
one?
lower one. Yeah. Yeah. And now from here you can add your collection, environment, all the things. So that I will teach you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Vikas, and I'll send you the payment soon.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone is
Thanks.
having any query?
Hey, Vikas, hi, Ali this side. So I
Yeah.
have a query. So question mark is for query parameterize. Apart from that, there is a slash. So can we also say for that as a path parameter after the slash or else not?
No, these all are considered as a query parameter detail actually. Right. So even I don't know understand, because these details are coming from the server side, right? So simply understand after the question mark, this is the query parameter. This is your the query which you have passed actually, and these all are the things which are displaying in the response here in this page. These all are related to that thing.
All right, Vikas, thanks.
Okay. So the same thing we will discuss in the web service, in the REST API. So I will always try to map the application, the web application, and the services, so that you can easily know the things. Okay, if I directly explain you in the Postman, you can't understand the thing. So that's why in very simple way, I have explained you by taking one application, right? If you understand the things here, how the things are connecting, because this thing is much more friendly with you. You are always doing the testing, right? Using any application. So that's why I have explained this thing in the beginning, right? After that, I will show the same thing in the Postman. So you can easily grab the things why I have explained this thing actually. Okay.
Absolutely.
Any other query? Any other query?
Because you'll share the payment details, right? Account and all that today. You already shared.
Yeah, that I will share. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you guys. If you don't have any query, then we can quit the call. Okay, we can end the call if you don't have.
Thank you, Vikas. Thanks.
Okay, fine. Thank you guys. Bye bye.